So, good evening, Prabha Lakshmi. So, in the periodic table, so far we have discussed about the periodic table. So, till most students join, let us revise what has been covered so far in this chapter. So, periodic table, periodicity, classification of periodicity of elements, periodical classification of elements, that we are going to. So, good evening, Padma Krishnan and Joel Samraj. So, we have seen about the Mendeleev's periodic law stating that properties of elements or periodic functions of the atomic weights, whereas Moseley's or modern periodic table states that the properties of elements are functions of their atomic number. So, good evening, Khan Deeban. So, last class we have seen the arrangement of Moseley's periodic table, modern periodic table, or array of elements in the form of horizontal rows called periods and vertical column of elements is called groups. So, Moseley's modern periodic table consists of 7 periods and 18 groups. So, for what was the arrangement of different periods, etc., we have seen. You have also answered different questions well in these lines. Good. Good evening, Dhanalakshmi. So, last class we left with the IUPAC nomenclature of elements. So, here it is in your syllabus, and also they will ask questions even for board exam and also for competitive exam. What is the IUPAC name of the element with atomic number X, Y, Z? They will give the form. So, atomic number X, Y, Z. So, X is the digit, Y is the digit, Z is the digit. So, they have to be used to be different thing. Good evening, Harshit. So for example, if the element has the atomic weight atomic number 120, IUPAC name of the element with atomic number 120 is that 1 and 2 by 0 nillium. So, and by nillium. Collectively you can write and by nillium. So, but first letter UBN, that is the symbol UBN. This way you got to write. For example, you can write, one group can write for system IUPAC name of the element with atomic number 126. Other group can write the IUPAC name of element with atomic number 127, but it is enough you post here only the symbol. So let me explain briefly. Before that, any of you can post the answer symbol. So, good evening, Ganesh and Sivaparman. We are recalling the naming, and also good evening, George Vincent. So, there is a naming of different elements with atomic numbers. So, 1 means and, 2 means by, and by hexaem, and by hexaem. First letter is UBH. So, symbol of the element with the atomic number 126 is UBH. Good. Sangeeta, nice. So, good evening, Sangeeta. Panichami, and also already we have George Vincent and we have seen. So, good, nice. So, UBH. Next, whereas 127 and by septium and by septium. So, UBS. Good evening, Padmaja Lakshmanan and Dhanappa Talawar. So, here we are discussing the IUPAC nomenclature of elements with atomic number more than 100. So here it was, this has to be noted. Please make a note. So many of you have given right choices. Nice. Harshit, Dhanalakshmi, Padmaja. Also good evening, Sudarshan. So nice of you, everybody who has attempted well this naming of IUPAC name. This is an important part. Naming IUPAC nomenclature of elements with atomic number more than 101. Now once again, lastly, let us revise. Good, Padmakishan, UBH and UBS. Here you have to put small b and BS. UBS, it should be small. First letter should be large, capital letter. Second letter should be small letter. The second and third letter should be small letter. That is to be noted. So periodic table. What is the periodic table? Periodic table is the array of collection of elements in the increasing order of their atomic numbers distributed in the form of horizontal rows of elements called periods, vertical columns of elements called groups. What information is obtained from the periodic table? Properties of the elements. Properties of the elements. How can elemental properties predicted based on the periodic table? Because the properties will be showing increasing trend towards a group or decreasing trend towards a period, like that. We will see the properties. How the third question answer, we will see some more points and then let us try to answer. So periodic table is the map of the building block of different types of matter. Matter is element, different types of element. So periodic table expanded view, salient modern periodic table, salient features is lanthanides and actinides are at the bottom of the table. Periodic table can be arranged by subshells. S subshell, P subshell, D subshell, F subshell. These are called S block element, P block element, D block element and F block element. We have seen. S block elements are first A and second A groups as per the Mendeleev, or first and second group as per the Moseley. P block is third A to 8th A as per the Mendeleev periodic table. As per the Moseley's periodic table, 13 to 18th groups. 13 to 18th group. D block element is the called also transition element because the variable valency is there. We have seen. F block elements are lanthanides and actinides which are known for their radioactivity. All these are we have studied so far. Once again, in your in different forms, if you see, we can be in a position to reasonably remember. That is the idea. So in the periodic table, central portion is almost metals, and here first this rectangular column. This rectangular column is alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metals. Here these are alkali metals. So alkali metals. Here D block transition metals. So here alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, transition metals, and also P block elements also. Boron, aluminium is a metal, gallium is indium, thallium, these are metals. But some of them are P block, some elements are metals, some elements are non-metals. That is why it is a so this is P block. This is D block. This is S block. So S block elements, partially they are metals. D block elements, almost all are elements, metals. P block elements, metals and non-metals are there. So metals and non-metals are there. So now what is the difference between, once again everybody please recall, what are the important properties of metals and non-metals? Important metalloids. Metalloids are arsenic and antimony. If you take the group of nitrogen group, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. Here nitrogen and phosphorus are non-metals. Nitrogen and phosphorus are, in the nitrogen family, nitrogen and phosphorus are non-metals. Arsenic and antimony are metalloids. Arsenic and antimony are metalloids. Bismuth is a metal. Bismuth is a metal. So in one and the same group, all types of elements. This is an important group. Nitrogen family is important. In the nitrogen family, first two members are non-metals. Next two members are metalloids. Last member is metal. So, good. Kannappan Rajendra, arsenic and antimony are metalloids. So, what are the important properties of metals? Ductility, malleability, glossy appearance, electrical conduction, heat conduction. These are the important properties of the metals. Ductility, what is mean ducts? Duct is a tubular structure. So capacity to be formed in the form of tubular structures such as wires, rods, tubes. Wire, small thickness. Rod, large thickness, solid. Tube, large diameter, hollow. So hollow, large diameter species, they are called tubes. Solid means everywhere it is filled with the matter. So no empty space. That is called tube, rod. So rod, wire, tube, these are called ducts. Different forms of ducts. Capacity to be formed in the form of duct, that is called ductility. Malleability means capacity to be drawn in the form of sheets. Rectangular sheet, circular plates, so ring, like that. That is called malleability. Glossy appearance means fine finish. Electrical conduction, they will conduct electricity. Heat conduction, they will conduct heat. So these are the important properties of metals. So which do not possess all these, any of these properties, important properties, they come under the category of non-metals. But arsenic and antimony have some properties of metals and some properties, almost equal properties of metals and non-metals. That is why they are called metalloids. So this arrangement table. Now already we have seen S block elements and P block elements. These are called representative elements. S block elements and P block elements are called representative elements because most of the compounds contain atoms of the S block and P block elements. And D block elements are called transition elements. F block elements, lanthanides and actinides, you have to make a note. These are called rare earth metals. What is meant by rare earth? They are available very small amount in the earth crusts. Available in very small amount, not small, very small amount in the earth crust. Rarely available. That is called rare earth metal. So rare earth metal, for example, for our commercial sake, iron, silver, gold. You take this tin like that. So this iron and tin, they are not rare earths. They are reasonable. But gold, platinum, silver are rare earth metal compared to iron. So rare earth means not easily available or cost is very high. Cost is, for iron, you might have noticed, iron, what is the rate per kg? For gold or silver, you can see in the decoration jewelries, 1 gram so many rupees or 10 grams so many rupees, whatever be the case. But here 1 kg so many rupees. So here these are rare earth metal compared to other metals. But these are very rare earth, very small amount. So lanthanides and actinides are also called rare earth elements. Here hydrogen is denoted with a red letter because red letter the species. Here also right side also red letter, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, all are gases. Hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. These are gases. So others are metals. That is to be noted. So most radioactive metals, rare earth radioactive metals, these are denoted with this green letter. So here also you can see species with atomic number 7th period, last 3 elements. Species with atomic number 110, and nilium, UUM, UUN. So atomic number 111, element name is, IUPAC name is and unium, UUU. Here also atomic number 112, and bium, BIUM, bium. Here one and quadrium, UU, here, and already you have written hexium and octium, like that you can write. Here why they have left space here? This element is very difficult to be identified. So if at all it is identified, only these will be identified immediately. These are very difficult to be identified. That is to be noted. So these are the rarest element. So rare, rarer, rarest. So it is not at all available. So this is about the arrangement of periodic table. So once again we have seen non-metals, metals, metalloids. They are given different color. Yellow colored species are metals. Sky blue colored species are non-metals. Green colored species, pale green colored species, I have told only arsenic and antimony. So boron, silicon, arsenic, tellurium, these are these metalloids. And grey colored species are noble gases. Noble means non-reactive, or the noble means inert or non-reactive. So gold is noble metal because it is non-reactive metal. In order to dissolve gold, we have to prepare aqua regia. It will neither dissolve in acetic acid, nitric acid, nor dissolved in hydrochloric acid. It will be dissolved only in a particular mixture of 3:1 hydrochloric and nitric acid called aqua regia. So it is a noblest metal. Then platinum is also still more noble. So they are not easily reactive. So non-reactive is are called noble. So non-reactive gases helium, neon, argon, xenon. The xenon is slightly, nowadays we will study in a later chapter. There are xenon compounds identified. Xenon fluoride, xenon hexafluoride, xenon tetrafluoride, xenon hexafluoride, xenon oxyfluoride. Such only 4 compounds about xenon are identified. That we will study in the P block elements noble gases bit later. So radon is a radioactive gas. So fluorine, chlorine, good. Kannapan Rajendran. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. These are called halogens. Halo means salt in Greek. Halo means salt. Gen means generating, producing. Salt producing elements. Sodium chloride, sodium bromide, sodium fluoride, sodium iodide, potassium chloride, potassium bromide. All salts are formed by these elements. That is why they are named as halogens. So in these halogens, astatine will not come. That is why it is given in a different color. What are halogens? What is fluorine family means you have to mention fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. At is called astatine. but astatine is not a halogen. That is why it is given in a different color. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, they produce salts, fluorides, chlorides, bromides, iodides. So they are called halogens. So noble gases. Lastly, lanthanides and actinides we have seen. This is one arrangement. Now, arrangement already we have seen. Second, how many number of elements in each period. So first group is called alkali metal. Alkali metal. Alkali metal. Alkali metal means they will form their hydroxide easily. So first group metals are sodium, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Here francium is 7th period, radioactive, so it is not considered. All will form hydroxide. Lithium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, rubidium hydroxide, cesium hydroxide. So if it forms hydroxide, hydroxide is alkali. So hydroxide forming elements are called alkali family or alkali metals. They form their unit positive ions. These metals give one electron to form metallic cation. Lithium, lithium plus, sodium, sodium plus, potassium, potassium plus, rubidium, rubidium plus, cesium, cesium plus, like that. So this is alkali metal. Whereas halogen family they will have, so let us take the simplest halogen, fluorine. Fluorine atomic number is 9. You write the electronic configuration, nucleus, then first shell, then next shell. First shell 2 electrons are there. Next shell 7 electrons are there. So in all the halogens, outermost shell contains 7 electrons. Outermost shell is called valence shell. Outermost shell is called valence shell. So valence shell, they have 7 electrons. That is why that is halogen family. So noble gases, outermost 8 electrons, halogen 7 electron, then oxygen 6 electron, nitrogen 5 electron, carbon 4 electron, boron 3 electron. So these are the number of electrons in the outermost orbital. That is the outermost shell. Outermost shell. That is one. Next, as we see, first group metals are called alkali metals. First group metals are called alkali. Here hydrogen is not there. Hydrogen will be center. So it starts, even though hydrogen is mentioned here, so hydrogen is not a metal. So alkali metal starts from lithium. Alkali metal starts from lithium. First group metals are called alkali metals. Second group metals are called alkaline earth metals. D block elements are called transition metals. Now this is oxygen group. Oxygen, so oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. So in your book there is a periodic classification of periodicity. Periodic table is long form periodic table is mentioned. You can check that. So oxygen group elements are oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. Here polonium is radioactive. Nucleus, nuclear reaction. All other. Here oxygen forms oxides. So they form oxide, sulfide, selenide, all negative ions. These are very much available in the earth crust. Any metal is formed in the form of oxides. So oxide generating materials are called chalcogens. Oxygen group, cation, anion generate. Gen mean producing. So oxide and related sulfide, selenide generating materials are called chalcogens, because in metallurgy we will study later. For any metal, ore will be either oxide or sulfide. For example, Aluminium ore, bauxite, aluminium oxide. Magnesium ore, magnesium oxide. Calcium ore, calcium oxide. So tin ore, tin stone, tin oxide. So most of the metallic compounds, ores are the metallic compounds, we'll see later. So ores are only oxides. So ore forming elements are called halogens. Halogen means ore forming elements. What is ore? Metallic compound. Metallic compound forming elements are called chalcogens. Ore forming elements. Calco means ore. Ore, gen, producing. Ore producing elements. Salt producing, ore producing. Halogen, salt producing. Noble gas, not reactive. Inert gases. So these are the arrangement in the periodic table. Make a glance over the thing. So let us see the individual. Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium. Here hydrogen is a gas. All other are alkali metals. So beryllium is not strictly alkaline earth metal, because alkaline earth metal means it should be available in the earth crust. Beryllium availability is low, that is why it is not mentioned here. Also we heard of beryllium now only. It is new to us. It is left. Commonly noted were compound magnesium, calcium, iron, copper, silver, zinc, aluminium, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, helium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Why these only specified individual members of selected elements? Selected elements means important elements. Most of the compounds contain these elements. That is why most of the compounds we are aware contain. You can check any compound, you tell the name. These elements will be in these, that is the selected elements, their characteristics. So alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, transition metals, and valency 3 boron group, aluminium reactive metal, non-metal carbon, nitrogen gas, oxygen gas, halogen, chalcogens, halogens, inert gases. So once again to recall, this is to be noted, already we have studied electronic configuration. In the second chapter we have written electronic configuration. Here only the valence shell. Valence shell means outermost shell configuration is mentioned here. Hydrogen only one electron, 1s1. Lithium outermost 2s1. Sodium outermost 3s1. Potassium outermost 4s1. Rubidium 5s1. Cesium 6s1. 7s1. So this is S1, NS1 configuration. Similarly, 2s2, 3s2, 4s2, 5s2, 6s2, 7s2, beryllium group, alkaline earth metals. These are D block elements, D1, D2, D3. Here is to be noted. Already we have seen. For chromium, they will ask repeatedly only for chromium. Careful. You have to be careful. Chromium normal configuration is 4s2, 3d4. S means 1 orbital. D means 5 orbital. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you have 4s2, 3d4, that is the original. But there is a seat vacant here. This electron will go here. So that everything is off filled. S capacity is 2 of 1. D capacity 10 of 5. So off filled configuration is the most stable. That is why it is mentioned as 4s1 3d5. That is to be noted. So D1, D2, even though D4 it is D5. Normal D5. D6, D7, D8. Once again 4s1 3d9. Sorry, 4s2 3d9 will rearrange as 4s1 3d10. That is 3d10, 3d10. So D outermost orbital, D1, D2, D3, D5, D5, D6, D6, sorry, D7, D8, D10, D10. Similarly for D, next group. So in this arrangement, we have to write D block elements. Then P block elements, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P block elements. So in these are, this is called, so yellow version is called, yellow colored region is S block elements. Pink colored region is D block elements. This one, right, P block elements. Bottommost is F block elements. It is not mentioned here because F block elements we will study only in the 12th portion. That is why it is mentioned. Next, hereafter, please make a note. This is the essence of this chapter. In 4 important properties are to be noted. One is radius of the atom or ion, whatever be the case. Radius, it is also called size. We will see. Second one is ionization energy or potential. Third one is electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain. So radius, it is not visible, I am hiding. So 4 important properties we have to note. One is radius. Second one is ionization energy or potential. Third one is electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy. Fourth property is electronegativity. Electronegativity. In physics, you might have studied about 2 types of units: fundamental units and derived units. Fundamental units, first chapter. Fundamental units, derived units. Fundamental dimensions, derived dimensions. Length, mass, time. These are fundamental. All other, velocity, momentum, acceleration, energy, work, power, surface tension, viscosity, everything is derived unit. But all other units are dependent upon the fundamental units. So derived units depend upon the fundamental unit. Here also, all other properties of elements depend upon these 4 are to be noted. These 4 are the fundamental properties: radius of the element or radius of the atom of the element, ionization potential of the element, electron gain enthalpy, electronegativity. Radius is also called size. These 4 properties decide mostly other properties. So these 4, how do they vary? Electron gain enthalpy. Kannapan Rajendran, I will explain everything. I am mentioning only the names of the property. So electron, I think electron gain enthalpy. We will explain one by one. But these 4 first I am listing the properties. What is meant by radius of an atom? How does it influences? So for example, hydrogen is the smallest atom. So you can see in this figure itself, different atoms are denoted by different spheres. But hydrogen is a small violet colored sphere, for your understanding. So along the group from top to bottom, sphere radius increases. From top to bottom, sphere radius, that is radius of the atom, increases along the group. So it will have some influence. Similarly, what is meant by ionization? First you got to recall ion. ION is a charged particle. Ion is a charged particle. The process of conversion of neutral atom to ion is called ionization. Neutral atom, so ions are of two types, cations and anions. So neutral atom, let us consider a general atom A. If it loses electron, it becomes positively charged. If it loses one electron, one positive, two electrons, two positive, like that. If it gains electron, it becomes negatively charged. So if a neutral atom loses electron, it becomes positively charged. If it gains electron, it becomes negatively charged. But when it gains electron, sometime it will give energy. But in order to lose electron, we have to supply energy. So helium atom is converted to helium ion, means we have to supply energy. Then only you can remove one electron. So if the electron, that is why it is called ionization potential or ionization energy. Energy required to remove, at present no doubt, we'll see the complete definition later. Ionization is the process of conversion of a neutral atom to positively charged species, cations. For that we have to supply energy. So energy required to ionize an atom is called ionization energy or ionization potential. On the other hand, if an atom gains electron, it will release energy. For example, you take the case of chlorine. For example, you might have heard about chlorine water. When chlorine is added to water, it is called chlorine water. But once you add chlorine to water, it is no more chlorine water, because chlorine reacts with water to form two types of acid, hydrochloric acid and hypochlorous acid. When water is a liquid, chlorine is a gas. When chlorine gas is passed through water liquid, it is connected to a mixture of hydrochloric acid. This is called hypochlorous acid. In both the cases, chlorine becomes negatively charged. Hydrogen becomes positively charged. So before addition, neutral chlorine means it consists of two chlorine atoms. But when it is treated with water, chlorine atoms are converted to chloride ions. Chlorine atom is converted to chloride ions. In this process, electron is added. But when electron is added, it will give energy. That is why it is called electron gain enthalpy. We will study them in detail. Electron gain enthalpy means energy. It is a type of energy. You will see it's not strictly energy term correctly, you will see. So it is a type of energy. Electron gain enthalpy is the energy released when an atom gains an electron. That is called electron gain enthalpy. So in order to lose electron, we have to supply energy. In order that the atom loses electron, we have to supply energy. It is equivalent to removing any possessing from a house. What thieves do, they take risk like that. But when we will give energy, so for example, whatever you give to people, they will accept whatever good thing. If you give some money, he will collect. If you give some more money, he will collect. So the fellow may not tell, okay, sufficient. I am telling about the general tendency. I am not referring anybody else here. So general tendency of a human being, if you give money, gold, etc., we will be accepting any number of time. But once the fellow has finished his lunch, once again you call him, you go and eat once more. He will blink at you and try to attack you. So he may not accept the food. Only the available thing that we may not accept for a moment. For a moment is only food. Food we cannot take. Automatically, if we will be tempted to give it to some other body. You give it to him like that. So that is the case of electron gain enthalpy. When an atom gains electron, it will give energy. When we want to remove electron from an atom, we have to give energy. Third one, fourth property. Let us see only the properties now. Then we will see the trend once again in the next class. Fourth property is electronegativity. Electronegativity. Before studying electronegativity, can anybody tell what is this compound? HCl. What is this compound? Can anybody write what is the compound HCl? Right, good. Hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid. What is the formula for hydrogen chloride? Can you write? What is the formula for hydrogen chloride? Nice, Gandhi. So everybody has written. Nice. HCl name is hydrochloric acid. Now next question is, what is the formula for hydrogen chloride? What is the formula for hydrogen chloride? What is the formula for hydrogen chloride? Can anybody briefly read? Hydrochloric acid, everybody has written. Good. What is the formula for hydrogen chloride? What is the formula for hydrogen chloride? Can anybody write? It is not a long word. It is only small 3 letters. Formula for hydrogen chloride. Is it audible? Right. Formula for hydrogen chloride is HCl. Formula for hydrogen chloride is HCl. See, HCl, the formula HCl, good. Formula HCl has 2 names, hydrogen chloride and hydrochloric acid. Good. Nice, everybody. Amit, Kandiban, Dhanalakshmi, Prabhalakshmi, Joel, everybody. So nice. So HCl formula represents 2 different compounds, hydrochloric acid as well as hydrogen chloride gas. Hydrogen chloride is a gas. Hydrogen chloride is a gas. But hydrochloric acid is a liquid. Hydrochloric acid is a liquid. So one is different, another one is different. HCl gas, hydrogen atom, chlorine atom, they are linked by means of some linkage. This is hydrogen chloride gas. Hydrogen chloride gas. In HCl gas, hydrogen atom and chlorine atom are connected by means of a linkage. You will see the nature of linkage bit later. But in hydrochloric acid exists as H plus and Cl minus. Hydrochloric acid exists as H plus and Cl minus. Oppositely charged species, there is a force of attraction, electrostatic force. Here there is a neutral atoms are connected. Neutral atoms are connected by means of a linkage in hydrogen chloride gas. But in hydrochloric acid, hydrogen exists as cation, chlorine exists as anion. But hydrogen chloride gas, hydrogen and chlorine both exist as atoms. Both exist as atoms. Sir, it is what you are telling some story. What is the meaning? Is that here now comes the question of electronegativity. what is meant by electronegativity? Electronegativity is the power of attraction of electrons. Power of attraction of electrons, that is called electronegativity. Or on the other hand, power of losing electron is called electropositivity. Hydrogen loses electron, so hydrogen is electropositive. Lithium loses electron, lithium is so these are electropositive. Electropositive means capacity to lose electrons, whereas capacity to attraction, please make a note, already we have seen gaining of electron. Now we are speaking of attracting the electron. What is the difference between gaining the electron and attracting the electron? Gaining of one electron and attracting one electron, what is the difference? Gaining means totally electron goes to the particular atom. Electron goes to, for example, sodium chloride or hydrochloric acid. Hydrogen atom contains one electron. This electron has gone to chlorine. So hydrogen without electron is called hydrogen plus. But chlorine with one more electron is called hydrogen minus. So one electron has gone means gain. But in the gas phase, chlorine atomic number is 70. Chlorine atomic number 70. Because 17 electrons. First nucleus, then 2 electrons, then 8 electrons, then 7 electrons. 17 electrons are there in the chlorine atom. But hydrogen miserably contains only 1 electron. This instead of 17 electrons, in spite of 17 electron, chlorine attracts hydrogen's electron as 18th electron. Because if it is 18 means inert, 8 outermost electrons, 8 means inert gas. Argon 18 electrons, inert gas. So chlorine wants to be inert. Wants to be inert means, if I have to be without disturbing you, give me some amount, like that. So this chlorine attracts hydrogen electron. Chlorine in gas phase. So hydrogen has given 1 electron, chlorine has given 1 electron. This is the meaning of this linkage. But when you in the gas phase, hydrogen's electron is attracted by chlorine. Hydrogen's electron is attracted by chlorine. But chlorine has 17 electrons. Hydrogen has only 1 electron. How can it afford to lose one electron even? It will not easily lose because it is present in the s orbital, nearest s orbital, first nucleus, then 1s. So 1s is nearest. So it is near the nucleus. It is very difficult to remove. So hydrogen will not give, but chlorine will attract. Hydrogen will not give, chlorine will attract. So that is, chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen. So electronegativity is the power of attraction of electrons toward a particular atom. That is meant by electronegativity. So what is meant by ionization energy? What is meant by electron gain enthalpy? What is meant by electronegativity we have studied. Now with this we can finish. Let us have the other thing later. Atomic radius. So atomic radius, in your book there is a definition, please make a note. Radius is defined as the, please note, radius is defined as the distance of outermost electron. It is important, not all the electron. Outermost electron from the nucleus is called radius of the atom. So radius of a species, whether it is atom, cation or anion, whatever be the case, this radius is the distance of the outermost electron from the nucleus, because hydrogen has only 1 electron, but Sixth period, hydrogen, lithium, sodium. Rubidium has so many electrons. So rubidium radius is large because outermost electron is farthest from center. Outermost electron is somewhat far. Outermost electron is closest in the case of hydrogen. So distance of outermost electron from the nucleus is called radius. The other name for radius is called size. So size, radius and size both mean the same here only. Radius of the atom or size of the atom, they reflect only one parameter. So the size of the atomic species is determined by the boundaries of the outermost electron, other name is valence electron. Outermost electron, other name is valence electron. Larger atomic species are found in the southwest corner. South, so north, south, west, east. Between north and south and west, this is called southwest. Southwest these have larger atoms, larger atomic size, because we will see what is meant by small effective nuclear charge bit later. At present, everybody make a note. It is important. Today's class, you have to note down the property. How does radius increases along group. Radius increases along group, decreases along period. Decreases along period. We will see how it is. So radius of an atom. So radius here increases, but radius here bigger atom, smaller atom, like that. So Z effective is effective nuclear charge. We will see them once again later. Effective nuclear charge. Effective nuclear charge. We will see in detail. So along the group, radius increases. Along the period, it is decreasing. That is why given, you can note down these wordings. I think it is visible. Size of the atom tend to increase down a group, along a group from top to bottom. Size of the atom tend to decrease across a period from left to right. Across a period means left to right. Down the group means top to bottom. So you have to note down how does radius vary along the group. What a question? Anything. So radius. So they will give the four properties, match the following column. Four properties in the left side. The trend in the right side, that is increases, decreases, neither increase nor decrease, like that. They will give. You have to properly match. So along the group means radius increases. Along the period means radius decreases. Next class we will see the ionization energy. So Kannappan Rajendran, this Z effective is, we will study them in detail. At present you note down, it is effective nuclear charge. Effective nuclear charge. We will study them in detail. So everything we will study them in detail. Next class is the study of trend of four properties: radius, ionization potential, electron gain enthalpy, and electronegativity. How do these properties vary along the group? How do these properties vary along the period? Why there is an anomaly? What is the reason? All we will study. That is the important part. What are the factors influencing radius? What are the factors influencing ionization energy, electron gain enthalpy? Every trend for these properties, we will first define how does the property vary along the group or period, what is the reason, what are the anomalies. These are the essence of this chapter. We will study them in detail. With this, we can wind up today's class.